on Ryan Russillo's podcast. They don't want to pay a penny of it. And Diana said no team wants him. And it's interesting. Remember you and I had the big battle about Sam Darnold, Baker? I like Sam. Bigger, stronger athlete, better. He was a better basketball player in high school. He was a linebacker. And I thought he was a good kid. Humble, gracious kid. Baker, I thought, was talented. Threw a little better ball, better release. A little too snarky, a little too much attitude. Here's what's interesting. And these are very divergent decisions. Sam Darnold got a second team to give him a chance. In fact, Carolina was willing to pay him a ton and give up 3 picks. Baker cannot find a second gig. And that is the difference. Baker blew a great opportunity. Nick Chubb, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku, Kevin Stefanski, Myles Garrett, John Johnson, the hell. 90% of the quarterbacks in this league don't get that opportunity. Offensive coach, best O-line, unbelievable running backs, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, David Njoku and Austin Hooper, OBJ and Jarvis Landry, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, who I like. He blew it. Sam Darnold's different. He's just not talented enough to overcome the Jets' mess or Carolina's lousy roster. That's a big difference. And I've come to terms, Sam's just not talented enough. He's not Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not gifted enough to overcome bad rosters. But he didn't blow it. Baker's different. And the NFL likes Sam Darnold. They root for Sam Darnold. My buddies in the league all want him to succeed. They really like him. He's big. He's athletic. He's just got a quirky release. And cognitively, Sam lets go of about 2 passes a game. And I'm just cringing. But that's the difference. Is that Aaron is so gifted, so gifted. Draymond is so gifted. They're so unique unicorns that they're allowed to have a little attitude or be outspoken or do things that make management a little uncomfortable, sometimes a lot uncomfortable. But 99% of you and me and the rest of America isn't that talented. So lose the snark. Tough guy on Twitter. You ain't that. You're just a dude. And that was always my knock on Baker. He's not a bad guy. He and Emily are probably wonderful people. But he's not talented enough to be snarky. He's not talented enough to be combative every press conference. He's not. That's the difference. Sam Darnold's just not talented enough to overcome junk. Another guy blew a great opportunity. And everybody in the league saw it. And Cleveland saw it. And that's why they don't want to pay any of his salary. It's like, we gave him that and blew up. I mean, the Jets almost felt guilty with Sam. It was like, I mean, Carolina. All these rumors they're going to get Baker. They didn't. They like Sam. They want Sam to work. The roster's not very good. And he's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar. He's not Justin. He's not Kyler Murray. There's a difference between the two. Be nice. It goes a long way. Don't agitate. Lubricate. It goes a long way. Joy with the news. And it's important when you hear the soundbite to listen to the tone. Sometimes you'll see words written down. You're like, that's harsh. I mean, people on Twitter, they don't even have a sarcasm emoji. I've said things before. Years and years ago, I said something about Adam Gase winning Super Bowls. Totally sarcastic. Joy's here. Totally tongue-in-cheek. People took it seriously. It's like there's no sarcasm emoji. Like they say 10 to 12% of America doesn't get sarcasm. So tone matters. This is not mean-spirited by Ryan Tannehill. He's not taking a shot at the quarterback the Titans just drafted, Malik Willis. But he did say this.
We're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
It's not his job to develop his replacement. There's only about 32 starting quarterback jobs in the NFL. Some fluctuate week to week. But for veteran quarterbacks, and Tannehill's a sneaky old 34, the average salary is $27 million. Yeah, I'm not going to give that up anytime soon. Here's a guy, they just traded his star receiver. He's sneaky old. He's been hurt before. They just drafted his replacement. Ryan Tannehill's fighting for his life and fighting for his career. He just lost a home playoff game, admitted he had to go to therapy. He is fighting for himself and fighting for his career. It's not his job to develop his replacement. Some of you are naive. I love bringing young people on and assisting them. I'm not developing them to replace me. This is a good job. Not many like it. You can be two things at once. You can be a great teammate. Malik asks you a question, give him an answer. Has a great practice, put your arm around him. This is great, man. You're doing a great job. But I'm not developing you to steal my job. Because companies, including NFL teams, all companies are developing a kind of bench where eventually they'd like to find somebody they can pay a third to a half of what you make. Doesn't matter if you're a landscaper or a talk show host and get the same production. They'd love to find Uncle Colin's replacement and then pay him a third of what they paid me. Of course they would. All companies want to do that. So in the end, what Ryan Tannehill is saying is I can be two things. I can be good in the film room. I can be a good guy. We can put it in your locker next to me. But I got one of the 32 best jobs in America. I'm not going to develop my heir apparent. Also, teams in the NFL and all sports teams don't like, even star players, they don't like players getting in their personnel. We'll draft who we want to draft. You stay over there. Now, occasionally, a star player, Aaron Rodgers or LeBron James, has so much power, you got to let him have a say, right? I want Randall Cobb. Okay, we'll get Randall Cobb. I want Russell Westbrook. Okay, we'll get Russell Westbrook. But teams don't like that. So teams do not want players to get into their personnel business. So why the hell should Ryan Tannehill have to develop players? Let's just draw a line. You develop and draft, I play. But you can't ask a player to develop players. That's a team's job and a coaching staff's job. That's not a player's job. By the way, Aaron Rodgers was bothered by the mere suggestion that he could be replaced by a quarterback from Utah State. Tom Brady got Jimmy Garoppolo to the left coast. He got him out of town. And those guys are superstars. Ryan Tannehill's fighting for his career. He's been hurt. He's 34. He finally gets a great head coach in Mike Vrabel. He finally gets non-chaos out of Miami. He finally gets a legitimate general manager. He finally gets a division he can win. He didn't have Tom Brady in it in the AFC East. He's finally in a playoff environment. And they trade a star receiver. They draft a quarterback. And we're all like, well, yeah, just bring him in. Take your job. Folks, I'm going to be scratching and clawing. This microphone is going to yank me off the set. I'm going to be holding on to this thing. And Ryan Tannehill and anybody that's worked really hard and achieved something has a right to not develop their replacement. There you go. So I'm defending selfish Ryan Tannehill and too hard a foul Dylan Brooks today. And I am here for it and completely satisfied with where I went on that. And it's very important when he tackled him. Nobody's talking about that. He tackled him very early in the game, like right out of the chute. Why was that? Because they were sending a message. We may be kids. Golden State, you're not pushing us around. Payback for Draymond. I heard this all day, all night this morning. There is no room for what Dylan Brooks did. There actually is some room for it. It's called the Bad Boy Pistons and Ray Lewis's Baltimore Ravens. There's all sorts of room for aggressiveness, semi-violence, intimidation, sticking up for yourself. You know I love the Warriors and Draymond Green, but y'all out there glamorizing the good old days of the NBA. This was 1992. They've done 30 for 30s on moves like that. You know what they never did a 30 for 30 on? The Denver Nuggets that scored 130 a night. Fat Lever, Dan Issel, Alex English. Y'all never did a 30 for 30 on that. They were pretty. You did it on the Knicks, who had no guys that could shoot in the Pacers series. Like two guys in the series, one of them, Reggie Miller, could shoot. They tackled each other. 30 for 30. Bad Boy Pistons, 30 for 30. MJ punched Steve Kerr, glamorized it. Oh, he knocked him down. He got hurt. Yeah, I don't want guys to get hurt, but you're the ones doing 30 for 30s. All the that Steve Nash Phoenix Suns team, where's the 30 for 30 for that? They were beautiful. There's also rules set up. So when you do this, there's a reason they have a flagrant 2, because it happens all the time. It happens all the time, and then you get punished for it. This didn't come out of nowhere. It came out of defending yourself. That's why Dylan Brooks did it right out of the gate. We're going to set the tone real early. You did that to our guy, we're going to do this to your guy. Now, Steve Kerr didn't like it, thought it was over the line. Here's the Warriors head coach.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it was dirty. And, playoff basketball it's supposed to be physical. Everybody's going to compete. Everybody's going to fight for everything.